Alright, today I'd like to teach you about Flubaroo, and this is an extension from Google Chrome that you can use to create quizzes and then grade them in a matter of minutes. It's very, very quick. You don't have to use any paper or pencil, and the students seem to be able to do it fairly easily. So I'll teach you how to create them and then how you can also grade them as well. So what we're going to do is open up a new tab and make sure you go to Google Drive. Now if you want to store all of your quizzes in one spot or in one folder, what I recommend doing is creating a folder for it. That way your quizzes aren't anywhere, they're in a specific place. So I've started one, mine are just called quizzes. So you can see I have two quizzes that I've already created. If you want to create a new quiz, you go to new, more, or I'm sorry, new, and it might be in more. I have used this apparently, and so now it's up with the things that I regularly use. So it might be here, or you might have to go down here to find it. It's Google Forms. So after I go to Google Forms, I want to put a title on my form, or my quiz. So we'll put, just as an example, Math Quiz 1.1. You'll always want to have your first question right here be the student's name. That way you can easily identify who that student is. So this would be, the question type would be text. And this is just an identifier. I always make things a required question. Otherwise, students might accidentally skip a question and then they wouldn't realize it. If you put required question for every single question and they don't answer one of them, it will tell them that one of their answers has not been filled in, so they can go back and fill it in. So I've done this first question, name, and they would just fill it in. I'll add an item, and this will be a multiple choice. You could also do another one where it would be your teacher's name if you have multiple classes. But we'll go ahead and just jump right into the questions. So they have to be either multiple choice or true false for Flubaroo to actually be able to grade them. So we'll just make up some questions here, make them fairly quick, so that I can show you how to grade them. True false question, I'll make that a required question. We'll do one more question. We'll do a few more actually. Make that required. Make that required. Okay. So if you go back to the quizzes folder here, you can see that this has already automatically put your quiz in here, and it also has created a responses spreadsheet so that when your students fill in that quiz or that form, all the responses will go right into here, into that particular quiz. This is not what the students will fill out right here. This is not what they will fill out because this is still the editing mode. To view the live form, you would click right here. Now you're probably thinking, I'm not going to have my students type this entire thing in. It would take too long, they would screw it up, they would never get there. That is very true. So what you can do, there are a couple things you can do. Number one, you can copy and paste this into an email and send it to each of their emails, and that way they can just click on a link and it will take them there. You can also do what I do, and I have it saved in my everyday icons. It's the Google URL shortener. You can make a new tab and type that in, Google. And this one right here, and it will create a tiny URL for you. So you'll type in, or you can copy and paste that URL that we had for the math quiz, the live form, and it will say shorten the URL. So this top one right here is our new URL, and all you have to do is write this on your whiteboard. So it's goo.gl / capital L, capital C, 4J, capital G, capital J. And so students would type that in. And as long as you have your quiz shared with all of your students or shared with anybody who has the link, they will be able to get to this live form right here. So we're going to fill in the answers. The first thing I'm going to do is fill it in as the teacher, and I fill in all the correct answers. So this is what I do first. I go through and I fill in the correct answers. So 8, to add something means to take something away. That's false. 100 minus 70, that's 30. 70 plus 18 is 88. I want all the right answers for mine. This is what Flubaroo uses to get the correct answer. So I hit submit. All right, we'll submit another response. We'll act like we're student 1, student 2, and student 3. We'll answer some right and some wrong. Okay, there's one submission. There's 2 submissions. And there's 3 submissions. Okay, so we have 3 submissions so far. So I'm going to exit out of this. I'm going to exit out of this. I'll exit out of this as well. Okay, so now let's go to our responses and see what we've got. Okay, so we have all of our responses right here. Now, if you have 3 classes, it's going to be kind of tough to grade all of those. Easy way to grade things is I've got my add-on. Now, if you don't actually have the add-on, it's not going to be up here. It doesn't just automatically come with it. So you'll have to go to Get Add-ons. Search the add-ons, and it's Flubaroo, F-L-U-B-A-R-O-O. It's actually right here, but I'll type it in just so you can see it. Okay. So this would click Add or something along those lines. It might ask you a few questions. Once you get done, it will be in your add-ons, and all you have to do is go to Flubaroo, Grade Assignment. And it will walk you through the steps. So we look at this, and we don't want to give any points for the name, so we'll put it's just what identifies the student. We'll put this is 1 point, this is 1 point, this is 1 point, and this is 1 point. So we'll continue. This is step 2. And this is asking you what should be used as the answer key. That's why we filled it in first as the teacher and we gave all the correct answers. And so this is the one that we'll select. This is what all submissions are graded against. And once we hit continue here, it will start to the grading process. Okay, now we hit view grades. As you can see, it gives you a summary up at the top left. points possible, it's out of 4. You could have it out of 10 or 20 or however many you want. The average points, 1.66 from the 3 submissions we have. We have 3 counted submissions, 3 number of low-scoring questions. Okay. It then breaks it down into students, and it tells you the total points for the students, the percentage that they got, and if they submitted it once or twice or however many times they did. It should only be once, though. So it also highlights students who got, I believe it's less than 60%, and it will highlight them in red. And then it also, in orange, highlights those questions that many students struggled with. So this is just a really nice tool to use if you want to create quizzes that you can then use in the future. You can eventually, if you want to, you can erase all those submissions for the next year, and you can reuse this particular link. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email about Flubaroo, or if you want me to sit down and teach you how to do it, I can definitely do that as well.